I was living in a $39 a night motel, eating cold beans straight from the can, when there was a knock at 2 a.m. The man outside wore a $5,000 suit and knew my name. "Vernon Hutchkins?" he asked. "Yeah, that's me. If you're here about money, I don't have any. Your ex-wife, Melody, doesn't know I'm here. But what I'm about to show you will change everything you thought you knew about her cancer, your divorce, and why she really left. My name is Vernon Hutchkins. I'm 45 years old. 6 months ago, I had it all. A successful construction company, a home I built myself, 2 wonderful kids, and a wife I'd loved since high school. Now I live in room 107 of the Sunset Valley Motel, where the walls are thin enough to hear my neighbor crying every night. Sometimes I wonder if he hears me too." The man in the expensive suit remained at my door, holding a leather briefcase that probably cost more than my entire monthly rent. The flickering neon light from the parking lot cast shadows across his face. He looked like a man who never had to sell a wedding ring to pay for someone else's medical bills, the kind of man my ex-wife had said she wanted instead of me. "May I come in, Mr. Hutchkins? What I have to show you shouldn't be discussed at the door." I glanced around my pathetic room. Unmade bed, hot plate on a card table, boxes stacked against the wall. Not the kind of place for visitors, but something in his eyes made me step aside. "5 minutes," I said. "Then you leave." He entered, set his briefcase on the bed, and faced me. "Mr. Hutchkins, my name is Theodore Ashford. I'm a private investigator, hired by someone who cares about you, a person who never believed the story your wife told." "Ex-wife," I corrected bitterly. "Yes, of course. Your ex-wife, Melody." He opened the briefcase and pulled out a thick manila folder. "Did you ever meet Dr. Harrison Vance before your wife's diagnosis, her oncologist?" "No. She found him through a referral. Said he was the best in Denver for ovarian cancer." "Why?" Theodore pulled out a photograph. Melody at a family barbecue, laughing with Dr. Vance. But the photo was from 3 years before her diagnosis. "Dr. Harrison Vance is your ex-wife's second cousin," he said. "He's been helping her plan something truly malicious for the past 2 years." The room spun. "That's impossible. I saw her suffering, chemo, weight loss, fear, all carefully orchestrated." "Yes," he replied, pulling out a bank statement. "Every time you sold something to cover her treatment, the money went into a Cayman Islands account. Your house, $400,000. Construction equipment, $200,000. Your father's Harley, your wedding ring, all of it." I sank onto the bed, shaking. "You're saying she never had cancer?" The records were falsified. Chemotherapy was actually saline and vitamins to mimic illness. Weight loss came from strict dieting and prescription medications. Every detail was planned, executed with Dr. Vance and her divorce attorney, Brent Caldwell, the same man who tore me apart in court and took my children. "How long have you known this?" 6 months. I was hired the day after your divorce was finalized. Your family has been quietly gathering evidence." "Who hired you?" Theodore smiled. "Your father, Earl Hutchkins. He never believed Melody was sick. He said, 'My boy would give everything for family, but I'll be damned if I let him lose everything to a lie.'" Tears came then. My father had been fighting for me the whole time. My mother followed Melody to appointments. My brother tracked the money. My whole family had been working to save me. I wasn't alone. I thought of Colton and Piper, my children, and how I'd failed them. Melody's cruel words, taking the kids, poisoning them against me. It had all been a lie. "What happens now?" I asked. "The FBI will arrest Melody and Brent Caldwell tomorrow morning on multiple federal charges. Dr. Vance has confessed. Your children are with your parents, waiting for you, and your father bought back your house, keeping your workshop exactly as you left it. Your life can be rebuilt." I stared at the deed. The home I built, waiting for me all along. Why didn't anyone tell me sooner? "We needed ironclad evidence," Theodore said. "Your ex-wife was smart, careful. One wrong move and she could have disappeared with your money and kids. We had to wait until every crime was documented." Theodore moved toward the door, then turned back. Your father asked me to tell you. You did exactly what he raised you to do. You put family first. You sacrificed everything for love. That doesn't make you weak. It makes her evil. And evil only wins when good men stop fighting. Your fight isn't over. It's just beginning. I found my voice again. Wait, you said someone knocked on my door and changed everything, but you haven't changed anything yet. You've just told me the truth. Mr. Hutchkins, Theodore said, smiling. The truth is the most powerful change agent. In 12 hours, your ex-wife will be in federal custody. Your children will be back. Your business can be rebuilt. Most importantly, you'll know your family never gave up on you. He paused at the door. Oh, and your father said Chester Pike and your old construction crew have been turning down jobs for 6 months, waiting for you to come back. The door closed behind him. I sat alone in room 107, the truth reshaping the worst year of my life. Before everything fell apart, my life had the kind of stability many envied. Not wealthy, but comfortable. Not famous, but respected. I ran Hutchkins Construction in Denver, a company I built from nothing, with just a pickup truck and the toolbox my grandfather had left me. We specialized in custom homes, the kind where every detail mattered. I had framed hundreds of houses, but the one I was most proud of was my own. I remember that Thursday in March, when life still felt perfect. I woke at 5:30 as usual. Melody was asleep beside me, her dark hair spread across the pillow. After 20 years of marriage, I still felt lucky to watch her breathe. She had left a note on the nightstand, as she always did. Coffee's ready. Lunch is in the fridge. Love you, Vern. Downstairs, Colton, my 14-year-old son, was already at the kitchen table, studying his spring football playbook. Morning, Dad. Can you run plays with me later? I promised we would after work. Piper, my daughter, arrived next, cradling her violin case. Talented like my mother, determined like Melody, she was first chair in the school orchestra, despite being the youngest. Breakfast was our routine, everyone talking over one another, while Melody packed lunches and reminded us of appointments. I kissed them goodbye and headed to work, where my crew awaited. Chester Pike, my foreman for 8 years, handed me the day's schedule. Riverside property framing today, with Mrs. Patterson requesting another kitchen change. We laughed at the chaos because that's what you do. You handle clients, delays, and weather, and still build something beautiful. My crew was reliable. 8 men who took pride in doing things right the first time. My father, Earl Hutchkins, still strong at 73, occasionally stopped by the sites, inspecting corners and commending work. Good work, son. Your grandfather would be proud. He reminded me of family and tradition, grounding the chaos of construction with pride and experience. Sunday dinners at my parents' house were sacred. My mother, June, cooked enough for an army. My brother, Dalton, a mechanic, and his family joined. We'd eat until full, then sit on the porch while the kids played. These moments were simple, yet meaningful, a foundation that would remind me what family truly meant. Melody had started to feel unwell, complaining of stomach pain. She resisted seeing a doctor, but eventually called from the hospital, terrified. Vern, I'm here. They found something. Can you come? I drove, breaking every speed limit. In the oncology ward, Dr. Harrison Vance delivered the diagnosis, stage 3 ovarian cancer. I sat frozen, focusing only on Melody's trembling hand. Afterward, she sobbed in my truck. I don't want to die, Vern. I want to see our kids grow up. I want to grow old with you. I held her face, swore everything I had would protect her. That night, we pored over insurance documents, limits, deductibles, experimental exclusions. Coverage was insufficient. We would have to sell assets, take out loans, do whatever it took. She squeezed my hand. I love you, Vernon Hutchkins. I replied, we'll get through this together. In hindsight, I can see the signs I missed. The coldness when she said she loved me. The calculations when discussing assets. The late-night calls to someone she claimed was a sister living across the country. But at the time, I only saw a frightened woman, needing me to be strong. So I was. I made spreadsheets, called contractors, sought extra work. That's what a real man does for his family, or so I thought. Medical bills began arriving, staggering in size. $47,000 for diagnostics and initial consultations, insurance covering $12,000. I drained our savings. Melody suggested a second opinion, or cheaper options, but I insisted on the best treatment. I sold construction equipment first, then took out more to fund her care. Meanwhile, my crew noticed the strain. Chester Pike, who had lost his wife years earlier, offered me $20,000 he had saved. Pride initially made me refuse, but I accepted. The second round of bills included an experimental treatment, costing $180,000. I sold more equipment, canceled projects, and let my crew go temporarily. Even as Melody's health improved and the treatment succeeded, my life, business, and finances were nearly destroyed. Melody recovered physically, but something felt off. Her demeanor, secretive texts, and sudden changes hinted at something more. Weeks after her final scan, she began packing, coldly announcing she was leaving, blaming me for being weak, for losing everything. The divorce papers already prepared, she sought full custody, spousal support, and a share of any future earnings. My world collapsed. With no assets, no income, and living in a motel, I faced a public defender, Patricia Moss, who appeared overwhelmed. The custody hearing went against me, with my children coached to favor their mother. Melody moved into a mansion with her lawyer Brent Caldwell, now her fiancé. I was left in motel room 107, $39 a night, with only the memories of what had been. 3 weeks passed in silence and labor, until the 2 a.m. knock at my door. Theodore Ashford, the private investigator, revealed the truth. Melody never had cancer. The diagnosis, treatment, and suffering were fabricated. Dr. Vance, her accomplice, confirmed it in recorded statements. Offshore accounts held the money, and every move had been orchestrated to destroy me. When the truth came out, shock gave way to a cold clarity. Everything I had lost, my company, my home, my finances, had been carefully orchestrated. Melody's plan was meticulous: fake illness, drain my resources, manipulate the children, and vanish with lawyers and money. Betrayal wasn't just personal. It was calculated, almost surgical in its precision. I had two choices: crumble entirely or rebuild from scratch. I chose the latter. With nothing but a motel room and a relentless drive, I started small. I took odd jobs, framing houses for strangers, repairing leaky roofs, hauling materials. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work. Every nail hammered, every beam lifted, reminded me who I was before the betrayal: someone capable, resilient, and relentless. I documented everything: bank statements, text messages, recordings, even photos of the children's manipulated statements. Theodore Ashford continued helping, tracing the offshore accounts, gathering evidence against Melody and her accomplices. It was a painstaking process, often demoralizing, but necessary. I realized that victory wasn't revenge, it was reclaiming my life with integrity intact. Slowly, opportunities emerged. A small construction company was willing to hire me as a project manager, impressed by my track record. I rebuilt my savings, one contract at a time. My reputation in Denver, though tarnished by Melody's lies, began to recover as former clients saw the truth. I realized that credibility, once lost, could be regained through relentless consistency and honesty. I also had to repair relationships with my children. Counseling sessions helped them understand manipulation, and eventually, they began to reconnect. Rebuilding trust was slow. Colton still looked at me with caution, Piper with guarded affection, but small gestures, attending games, listening, sharing meals, helped repair the fractured bond. Through this journey, I discovered lessons I never wanted to learn but now value immensely. Vigilance matters. Even in love, trust must be paired with awareness. Resilience is everything. Losing everything is devastating, but rebuilding proves your character. Documentation saves you. Records, evidence, and foresight can protect against manipulation. Integrity outlasts deceit. No scheme, however clever, can permanently dismantle someone who acts with honesty and determination. Today, I run a smaller, leaner construction business, but it's thriving. My relationship with my children grows stronger every day. Melody's whereabouts remain uncertain. Legal action continues, but the focus is no longer on revenge. Instead, it's on life, legacy, and proving that even in the darkest betrayal, recovery is possible. I've learned that life isn't about avoiding pain, it's about what you do after it hits. And when you rise stronger and wiser, the pain becomes a teacher rather than a prison. The scars remain, but they remind me that I survived, rebuilt, and reclaimed the life I thought was stolen. The betrayal cut deep, but it didn't destroy me. And that is a victory no one can take away.